Good morning. It is the 6th of July, 2023, and it is Thursday morning, early Thursday morning. I'm not really happy with my sound situation today. We got some problems with microphone, so I'm having to use the omnidirectional mic, and it's gonna I'm not happy with the sound quality, and I apologize for it. Hopefully I'll get those sound issues fixed by next week. Again, using some new equipment. It is what it is. And I'm also got some sinus drainage, and really does feel like a bad cold at this point. But so my voice just ain't gonna be what it usually is, be that for good or for ill. So what we're looking at today is Comancheria, the rise and fall of the Comanche Empire, and it's done by Joel Toppen. This came around, it's right here, 2016 GMT Games, 2016. And when this game came out, I played this game a bunch. And I mean, a whole bunch. And I can't believe I haven't talked about it on this channel yet. But since the start of my channel, I've been into other things. And I hadn't really played it. Because when I played this, I left this set up for a good long time. Look at that, I got something there. A good long time. Reason being, it's one of those games that once you set up, once you get going, you just want to set up so you can run day after day, something like that. So let's look at the back blurb, and right there, that's the map. And this Comancheria is a solitaire game which transports players back to a time when prairie grass was yet to be trodden by wagon wheels, back to a time when the bison herds numbered in the millions, back to a time where the Comanche were the lords of the southern plains. Absolutely, that's the truth. In Comancheria, you, the player, get to make the key decisions as you guide your people in an epic conquest of the southern plains. As the player, you must balance carefully the establishment of your people's culture against the relentless pressure of an increasingly hostile colonial enemy. Using mechanics similar to Navajo Wars, that's another big game that Joel Toppen's really known for, Comancheria challenges the player to conquer and control the southern plains of North America. It won't be easy, however. Aggressive northern tribes like the Osage, Pawnee, Cheyenne, and the Arapaho will challenge your dominance of the hunting grounds. The colony of New Mexico has expansionist ambitions from the west. To the north lies Mexico and its new colony of Texas. And in the east lies the greatest threat of all, the United States of America. Yeah, that's true. Everybody having expansionist ambitions at this point, and it's the Comanche in the southern plains. Yeah, very well done. The complexity is a 4 out of 10, I guess it is. The solitaire ability is a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 9 because it is solitaire only. Let's look at it. It's been a while since I played it, so I don't know what I can remember and what I can't. I remember I've packed up everything very well. I remember the components, the cards with the decks. You're going to play different decks, right? You're going to set out decks above the development deck, a war deck. You're going to have these different decks, and it does play a little bit like a what do you want to call it? A Euro in a lot of ways. The components are a top one. Look at that. Beautiful counters. Beautiful, easy to read counters. Easy to understand information. Chits. Very well done. Very, very well done. And it does remind you somewhat of a Euro, but it does have very, very deep wargame principles. We might look at some of those cards in a minute. Resolving enemy constructions, player actions, sequence of play. The sequence of play Well, we'll look at that in a minute. It's rules. It's a fairly procedural game. Very procedural, if you want to know the truth about it. We'll look at all that in a minute. Let's look at the map first and foremost. You got 3 dice. Well, there's some. Well, I still have the sprues to. How about that? All right. Well, get this where I want it. Like I said, this is a little bit off the cuff. I wasn't planning on looking at Comancheria today, but I thought, hey, we ain't talked about this game and yet. All right. So let's get the map out. Here we go. Now, the maps may be fairly odd looking to you, but it is a map. And this is your display. These are where you're going to be moving. Yeah, that's the map. Enemy instruction. You got west, south. You got enemies coming from everywhere. So, okay. Brazos Colorados, the Red Arms, the Rio Grande. Okay. It's somewhat coming back to me, but I may play it again. Remember, I had it set up for, man, probably 9 months. Not that I played it every day, but I did play it a lot back then. I've always been to other stuff, so. But this is one of those games that's set up as a solitaire game and just kept set up for quite a while. Because, like I said, once you start playing it and understanding the procedures, you kind of want to keep going. So this is good. It's probably been a good 7 years, though, 6 or 7 years since I've had it set up. Rules of play. Let's look at the sequence of play. The play aids. Great play aids. Resolving enemy. I do remember the play aids. They were good, color coded. So, passage of time. That was always a neat thing, where long periods of time passed and totally changed what you were trying to do. But the sequence of play is the war column phase, operation selection phase, operation execution phase, operation cleanup phase, take actions, culture, planning, and then the passage of time. And the enemy instructions, ally, culture, attack, encroach, hunt, peace, raid, recover, settle, subjugate, and war. Yeah. So, I guess I'm looking at this game just for my own benefit, that I may get out and play again. Secondly, I think it's important that these games are made, whether it's Comancheria or Navajo Wars or any other game depicting one of the First Nation tribes of what is now the United States, because we have, the Comanche were great raiders, and they were feared opponents for anyone, as were a lot of the other tribes, as were the Shawnee, as were the Iroquois, as were even the Cherokee at some time. So I think we're losing a lot of what we known about cultures on this continent that came before us. Simply, we've swept it all under the rug, right? Schools used to be named after tribes. whether you like that or not, once we started taking those natives off of schools, my school, for instance, a lot of people stopped learning about it, sadly. So all that we have left are the European stuff. That's kind of the same way I think about a lot of the stuff, or a lot of products we have, right? Whether it's we have non-Europeans on, well, non-European, how do you want to say that? Heritage. Because I ain't a European, you know. Non-European heritage or non-white things on products. We take that off of products and leave just the whites. And so people say, well, that's a caricature. Maybe, but does it have to be? Do we just swap it away and then we never think of it anymore, right? It leaves Quakers and Dutch boys, right? That's what's left. And then, so while that may be true, we may want to get past caricature. There's a sort of what we need to respect those who come before us, and that's something we've lost. I think we've just lost greatly because nowadays we're not supposed to talk about other cultures except our own, evidently, which I don't understand whatsoever. So, but anyway, that's just my little mini rant. And the Comanche but like I said, the Comanche were feared. I mean, yeah. Really good counters. Really good counters. There are no half-inch counters in this. All of them are easy to read. 5/8 inch counters is the smallest. All right. The dice are dice, right? But there are a lot of counters. There's like 4 or 5 counter sheets. The cards. They made the cards too good. I say this, and people are gonna think I'm crazy, but we're gonna look at some of these cards. The cards are excellent, but they're so hard to shuffle because they're that good quality, right? They almost, I'm afraid you're gonna break them. They almost feel brittle in some ways, but it's what it is, development deck. But what you're doing here is you have to develop your culture. You have to develop your way of life in the game, and whether you're gonna have to defend, you're gonna have to do a lot of things. But the neat part of it was that passage of time, where time passes. So what you've done on one turn may just totally not. It'd be a totally different situation on the next turn because of that passage of time. And I think it's kind of not arbitrary, but it's kind of the passage of time depending on how long, how many passages we have. Mark art play bans as unfinished. Players with spin resource counters. Yeah. But that was that long passage of time, the victory check. Victory check objective in play history card are not fulfilled. Okay, let's see what that is, the play history card. Let's see what we got here. This is not the play history card. It should be one of these. One of these cards. Well, at this point, I'm going to go through it. It's going to take too much time to find exactly what it's talking about. But we'll look at some of them. Got the Apache War. While in play, after completing a player action, if there are 3 or more ravage counters on a tribe, remove the tribe from play, return ravage counters to stock. War of Spanish Succession, war and subjugate, the instructions have no effect. Enemy spins the AP. See, these are really utilize, right? Really some neat prominent headman, negotiation. really some neat cards, and it kind of does have a Euro feel to it, right? In a lot of ways, it feels like a Euro, but it's an excellent game, and it's somewhat complicated, but in a procedural way. It's going to take you a few playthroughs to get your head around it and to understand what you're doing, because there's a lot of fiddly stuff to it, and there's a lot of different levers that you can pull and do. So yeah, if you're experienced at solitaire games, this is one of those ones that if you're not an experienced solitaire player, you may find too fiddly for you. But if you're an experienced solitaire player, you will enjoy this. It's a typical GMT solitaire experience, plenty of levers, plenty of history. And again, this is some really cool history I always love. We're talking about First Nations tribes. And when I say First Nations, I say that because I don't like Native American. I don't like that. I think Canada, that's one thing Canada got right when they went into First Nations, probably what we should be calling the tribes that were here before we were. All right, First Nations, I like that a lot. Anyways, it is what it is. I apologize for the sound. I apologize for my voice. I kind of want to do something easy since I was sick, and here it is. If you want to know how to play this, Joel Toppen, it's on, just look up Comancheria, maybe Joel Toppen on YouTube. And Joel Toppen has a YouTube playthrough of it. You won't get any better than that from him. And I do recommend this game if you can find it. It'll give you plenty of playthrough. If you got I think you find it on a secondary market. It's kind of a little expensive, $75 to $100. If you can find it for that, it's not necessarily not worth it. You'll get a lot of plays out of it. Like I said, I played it for the better part of 9 months to a year when I first got it. And I may play it again, but it is a time sink. It's something you get and you set up and you stay set up. You keep playing it. As far as, that's for me. That's what I'll do. That's what I did with it. And that's what I would do with it again if I do get it but set back up. So, Comancheria, y'all have a great day. Yeah, stay well, man. It's the first time I've really been kind of under the weather for years. Luckily, I haven't missed any work or anything like that, but yeah. Summer cold, 100 degrees outside, about 38, 39 degrees Celsius, and and I got a cold, or I feel like I got a cold. All right, y'all. Have a good day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.